So, Licorice Pizza is the latest Paul Thomas Anderson movie. I think that's his name. Paul Anderson, the acclaimed director, very much not a film bro director, but very much like a film nerd's favorite. He's directed stuff like Magnolia. I think he did Boogie Nights, Punch Drunk Love, all the more like Criterion movies. You guys know who he is. And Licorice Pizza has been a movie I have been itching to see for feels like years, really a couple of months, but I've been wanting to see this movie for a very long time. I saw a full trailer for it when I saw The French Dispatch, which is actually right here, French Dispatch. But I very much have been excited for this movie. Over and over again, I would watch the trailers, I would research it more, I would talk about it with more people, I would beg Cam, when are we going to see it? When are we going to see it? When are we going to see it? And finally, this weekend, I was able to see Licorice Pizza. And I have a lot of thoughts to say about this film. Licorice Pizza, for me, was the movie. It was the movie I had to hold out my year-end lists for. It was the movie, like, if I have to miss everything else, I want to see Licorice Pizza. I want to see Licorice Pizza. I have been so excited for this film. And I love hangout movies. They're probably up there with my favorite genres. I don't know, I just really think they are the best portrayal of life and leave the most room for kind of creativity and fluidity with plot and cinematography. I don't know, I just like hangout movies. They're fun to watch. And this kind of seemed like the perfect one. And Licorice Pizza met all of my expectations. This movie was phenomenal. I really did love Licorice Pizza. It is very much more a feeling movie than anything. If you're going into this expecting this grand sweeping plot, if you're going into it expecting more of a linear narrative, you might be a little disappointed. But I really don't think a lot of people have been going into this thinking it's going to be like this. Very going back to the French Dispatch, very like beat by beat by beat by beat. This is very much a fluid movie. This is just a glimpse of this time period. It's a glimpse of these certain two particular people's lives, Elena and Gary. I remember the characters' names finally. That's a rarity. But it's very much a look into what life was like in the 1970s in California and what that kind of lifestyle, how that was portrayed, how people wanted to portray themselves, how people wanted to act, look, all that good stuff, how they wanted to grow up. This is very much a coming-of-age movie in the best way possible. It is very much a good glimpse, and realistic glimpse, I would say, at later teenage life. Now, the age gap. The age gap is something a lot of people talk about when they talk about this movie. Some people are on the fence about it. Some people understand it. I kind of understand it. I wish it didn't have to be in the movie. That's the thing. I wish it wasn't a part of the movie, but I understand why it's in the movie. It's not a flaw. I'm not going to say that ruins the movie. I'm not going to say it's something that bothered me, because it honestly wasn't. Just because I don't think it ever crossed the boundary into being something like, ugh, that's gross, or ugh, that's too far. It's too romanticized. It's too played up for laughs or anything like that. No, I genuinely feel like it was an important emotional arc in the movie and something that is present within the film. It's not something that's being romanticized. It's not something that's being glorified whatsoever. It's something that's just a part of the movie. And again, a glimpse of the time period. And I think that's kind of important to talk about when you're talking about movies where if there's something problematic in it, is it a part of the movie? Is it a central storyline? Is it an important thing trying to convey a message, which this particular thing is, or is it being glorified, or is it being romanticized like in other lesser movies? Here, I genuinely do feel like it is something that isn't romanticized, like I said, isn't played up to be this big romance in the film. I feel like it's something that is just a part of the movie and is a part of real life, is a part of these two people's lives together. And once again, I never feel like they cross the boundary into having a relationship between a 15-year-old and a 25-year-old. I feel like it never crosses the boundary of being a relationship. Yes, it isn't. If this was happening in real life, I would say that's not okay, but it is an emotional and thematic part of the movie, and I think it's integral to this movie. So that's my take on it. I know a lot of other people feel differently, and that's okay, obviously, if you feel differently. But I feel like that's where most people stand on it. And I feel like that's the I don't know that's what the Paul Anderson wanted you to take from this. This movie very much also floored me on a technical level. The writing was perfect. I thought all the dialogue was really snappy and really character driven. This movie obviously is a hangout movie, so it's very, very, very character driven, and each of the characters are super distinct, very wacky, but not in like a way that, oh, this is kind of quirky, or even like in a French Dispatch. I keep mentioning that movie. Wes Anderson kind of way, or even like an Edgar Wright kind of way, or Greta Gerwig kind of way. You know what I mean? It's very distinct to this filmmaker, the way these characters are different. All of them believe that what they're doing is just completely normal. This is everyday life. Yeah, I totally should be going after a 25-year-old. Or the Bradley Cooper's character. No, it's completely normal just to threaten this kid to kill him if he floods my house. So I feel like that is very much an aspect of Anderson's filmmaking. And I'm not that experienced with his movies. I haven't really seen a lot of them. The only other movie I've seen of his is Punch Drunk Love. And that movie is very much the same way. With the characters feeling justified in their own actions, even though their actions are completely insane. And that is a style of writing that I really do enjoy here. Especially with this movie, it feels very authentic. It feels very, again, true to this kind of filmmaking. So, yeah. And the setting was perfect. It really made the movie for me. This movie would not be as, I think, fun. Not really fun, but like, as impactful as it was without the backdrop of the 70s. The 70s is definitely romanticized a lot here, and that aesthetic, that kind of feeling of nostalgia for it. And it works perfectly. It got me hook, line, and sinker, and I just fell in love with the scenery. And the cinematography was immaculate. I think this movie should definitely win a couple of awards for that, because there were just so many scenes in here where I was like, oh, you could definitely frame that. Oh, that looks incredible. Oh, that's a great shot. And it really framed the story in a way that felt real. You felt always in the mood. This movie is very much a mood movie in the best way possible. It's a feeling movie. You more need to get the feeling than get the plot, get the characters. And I feel like this movie is the best example of that. It is, again, the best example of a hangout movie. It uses its setting and its characters to drive its themes home less than its plot. And again, this movie just does that so well. Everything that surrounds these characters to me is just perfectly placed. Everything in this movie is meticulously placed while also feeling completely random and fluid and like real life. And I think that is the perfect balance that you need in these types of movies. The soundtrack also was killer. I know that's like it's going around on vinyl. I definitely need to get a copy for myself, because even though I didn't recognize a lot of the songs, all of them were perfect and completely fit the mood very well for each scene that they were in. I don't know. It was a great soundtrack. This I already talked about the cinematography, both of the lead performances. So every performance was great in this movie. Everyone was definitively themselves. Bradley Cooper was insane. He was really funny. Tom Waits was in this movie, and he was a random one-off character that was really great. Same with Sean Penn. But Philip Seymour Hoffman's son and Elena Hyam from the Hyam band were phenomenal. They were so good playing both their characters, especially Elena Hyam. I did not expect her to be this just incredible in this movie. Both of them were so good. Both really conveying a lot of emotion and really bringing these characters to life and bringing all of the dialogue. Just, I don't know. I'm not really good at talking about actors' performances. That's not really my cup of tea when it comes to reviewing. I don't know. But I can tell when performances are great, and these two floored me. I mean, they were just perfect. I loved both the performances and what they brought to this movie. I really thought they were both fantastic, and for sure should be up for an Oscar. And this was just the perfect hangout movie. It met all of my expectations. I got exactly what I wanted out of it. I was very happy the entire time while I was watching it. So, yeah. And Cam likes it. She really does like it. This is her first hangout movie that she's like that I've showed her. Yeah. Hopefully she agrees with me on that. And the negatives. The only negative I really have for this movie. Shut up. I hate when my computer does this. The only negative I really have with this movie is there's one racist character that pops up a couple times throughout the movie. I like the actor a lot that plays him, but he was just annoying. He wasn't really necessary. I know it's kind of, it's of the time, and I feel like using that argument in the situation is a little mute. It's just like, that really didn't need to be in the movie. It wasn't funny. It wasn't needed. And that's another thing I forgot to talk about this movie. This movie is hilarious. A lot of the dialogue, it did crack me up. A lot of those situations were really funny. And I don't know. This movie was effortlessly funny, I think. And not in a way where it's like, effortlessly funny. It didn't put too much emphasis on the jokes, and I feel like that's why it was funny. It was just those situations where like, what just happened? What am I looking at? And I thought that was really great. But yeah, that's the one negative I do have with this movie, that bumped it down from being an A+, honestly. That character, I don't know. It can be seen as a nitpick for some, but I don't know. I felt like he really didn't need to be in the movie, and was in the movie enough to where it was, okay. That bumps it down a notch. I really didn't need that guy to be in the movie. So, excuse me. Licorice Pizza does not disappoint for me. Definitely one of my favorite movies of the year. You'll be seeing it on a list coming up in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, Licorice Pizza gets a very strong A. Very highly recommend Licorice Pizza. So yeah, this is my last standalone movie review for 2021. I will be getting my big roundup review done, hopefully in the next upcoming week, and then I will be doing my top 10 lists. Yeah, so looking forward to that. And Cameron is coming up in a new video. Say hi, Cameron.
Hello.
She's on the phone. And yeah, she'll be in a video upcoming soon. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching this review. The top 10 lists.
Oh, yes.
All right, see you guys later.